G'day everyone, it's Glenn from Australians Teach English here with my vlog. And remember, don't skip leg day like I do every day. Uh, Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my recent interview with Keyma from MasterChef on my podcast and some of the connections between what the things that she said, my life as a paraplegic now, and also my teaching and learning of languages as well. And it was really interesting to hear her talk about fear and being able to adapt and being able to put herself in difficult positions and being able to actually cope with the stress and the pressure that came with being a contestant on MasterChef. And I found this quite impressive, really. And I think there's a lot that language learners can take from this. This is just one little clip from our interview. And so if you could give one piece of advice to someone coming to Australia or learning English, what would it be?
For me, it's exposure. So if you come into Australia, I I committed the mistake when I came here to stay in my home for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Scared, so scared of going out because I know English and I couldn't speak fluently. When I came here, I knew English and I couldn't speak fluently. I was so nervous, so scared. But it wasn't until I started going out, speaking to the librarian, speaking to the, just saying, hi, how's the weather? And listening. For me, it was about exposing myself to the experiences that enrich your language in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Going, for me, I didn't have the time to go to a meetup, but just meeting up with friends that are not, you know, your Latin or your own community, because that's what a common mistake as well, that people come here and then just stay within their community. I'm not saying don't get rid of the community, but make time to make friends.
And what also struck me with this is that as immigrants to other countries or language learners, we're always put in difficult, high pressure situations, whether we like it or not. And avoiding these situations is really difficult as a language learner and as someone new to a different country or whatever. But it is something that we all have to face if we actually want to improve our language skills at some point. And I also liked the fact that she came back to her food as a way to center herself and actually get some perspective of her life as well. And my reflection on this is that's basically how I've used language learning to help me through this process of recovering after my accident and now being a paraplegic. It's something that's always there. That's something I do every day. No matter how bad or how good I feel, it's always there. And, even recently I've passed 300 days on Duolingo, and it's not even about doing lessons on Duolingo. It's simply about, coming back to something that I enjoy, something that is important to me in my life. And so it's a measure of other things apart from any progress I may or may not be making with different languages and learning things like that. And it's the same with my teaching as well. I had huge fear of when I came back to teaching that I wasn't going to be able to actually teach in the same way that I was before. And it's true, things have changed. Things aren't as easy as they were before. But in a lot of ways, I actually think I'm probably now actually a better teacher because I'm having to really, really think about what I do. I can't just wander off behind me into the kitchen and get something that we're going to talk about or whatever. It's just not as easy as that. I have to have everything planned out in advance. And of course, there's a lot of fear with this, but it's something that you just have to learn to do. And I've learned to adapt, and I'm learning to adapt with the new situation and everything else. And so I was just thinking about it the other day that I've only actually, I think since I started teaching again earlier this year, I think I've only cancelled one class because of not physically being up to it and preparing for my classes, getting up in my chair and whatnot has actually given me, a purpose and a centeredness to my life in the same way that cooking and food gave to Keyma. So I really enjoyed that interview, and I really enjoyed the fact that you could listen to that interview and take what you want out of that and consider food and cooking and preparation a lot like a journey in language learning, and something that the end result is whatever it is, but it's actually something that you enjoy along the way, something that can help you through difficult times and bad times, but also at the same time, something that gives you motivation to keep going through difficult times as well. So that's me, Glenn, signing off again from my vlog. And remember, guys, don't skip leg day like I do every day.
For more information about the Australians Teach English Institute, go to australiansteachenglish.com or follow us on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube at Australians Teach English.